the leader in talk radio on the Internet, right here on K98Talk.com.
If you want to work until you keel over, have less of everything in retirement, or give back more of your hard-earned money to the stock market again, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method and to get your free report, go to 29security.com. That's the number 29security.com. 29security.com. Go to 29security.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
All right, folks, this is Rick Robinson with you. I want to tell you about some friends of mine from a company called Security Enforcement Specialists. When I ran my security agency for 12 years, I worked with one of these partners on a daily basis. He's been involved in this agency now, and with his other partner, they do have over 30 years of experience in the private security industry. If you own a business and you need someone to keep you or your customers or residents safe, then I highly recommend contacting Security Enforcement Specialists today. Give them a call at 405-703-1796. Again, that's 405-703-1796. Again, tell them Rick from K98 Talk sent you. Like I said, if you need the help, they are here for you. So make sure that you go look them up, check them out, and see what they can do.
Wrong way. Welcome to the place.
Joe had huge problems with the IRS.
I knew it was coming. I hadn't filed taxes since 1990.
All the IRS letters coming in added up to a nightmare.
To get up to like $68,000, my heart started beating fast. It's like, there's no way, man. I mean, I ain't going to be able to do this.
Then they stopped his paycheck.
So that's when I started making phone calls and found U.S. Tax Shield.
U.S. Tax Shield went to work immediately.
They just took the bull by the horns. What blew my mind is he called the IRS right then and there.
So why is U.S. Tax Shield A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau? Joe knows.
They saved me a ridiculous amount of money.
If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, choose the company Joe chose, U.S. Tax Shield.
It was the best decision I made. U.S. Tax Shield is the way to go. Life is good. Thank you, Lord.
Call 800-471-3287.
U.S. Tax Shield. Boo-rah. Yes.
800-471-3287. 800-471-3287.
The Internet will never be the same. You're listening to K98Talk.com.
Wow. Good God, y'all. What is it good for? Absolutely. Let's get started.
You are listening live to the Vito and Vito Show. Disrespectful to the executive branch.
I would remind you that extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice.
Don't sign the damn deal, and the president won't.
Therefore, I do not believe that the majority can vote a man's life or property or freedom away from him.
And we're live here on the Vito and Vito Show. I'm Vito.
And I'm Vito.
And we want to welcome everybody here to the Vito and Vito Show. Check out the website, www.vitoandvito.com. I'll give it to you again, www.vitoandvito.com. And give us a follow on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Vito and Vito Show. Vito, a lot of people might be asking themselves, what are they listening to, and why does this man with the golden voice on the radio sound so determined to get his point across? Tell them what they're listening to.
We'll bring you the perspectives of two college-age millennial conservative libertarians out of liberal hellhole Brooklyn, New York, where we're committed to defending the principles of liberty, free markets, individualism. Vito, we hold no punches here on the show. Is that your best radio voice?
Do you like it?
What you're doing? You get really into it.
I'm getting into
You're
it.
listening to WBGD, JJ.
You're listening to WBJ. All right, here we go. Speaking of BJs, President Obama was out in Cuba celebrating his Marxist triumph holiday, taking pictures with Che Guevara, or murals of Che Guevara, hanging out with Raul Castro.
Doing the wave at baseball games.
Doing the wave with Raul Castro as the world burns. There was an attack in Belgium.
Brussels.
Yes.
That's the city.
Thanks, Bill. There was an attack. In all seriousness, there was an attack this week. Our hearts and sympathies go out to the families involved. Another terrorist attack at the hands of ISIS. Absolutely disgusting to see what is going on. We're going to talk about radical Islam on the show. We're going to talk about Brussels. We're going to talk about President Obama's lack of action. We're going to talk about how we can stop ISIS. And ultimately, we are also going to talk about... What else are we going to talk about?
It's going to be a surprise. That's why you have to tune in and keep listening.
And that shows you just how much... How prepared we are here.
We're going to spin the wheel. Whatever it lands on,
whatever it lands on. All right, Vito, here's the deal.
Oh, wives. Women.
Oh, that's right. Thank you.
Yes.
Here's my show note. Sorry about that. Yeah, we're talking about wives tonight. We got a big thing going on. Ted Cruz, Donald Trump fighting it out over the wives. And you know it's going to be good. There it is. That was supposed to be a bell, like a boxing
ding,
bell.
ding.
Yeah, but it was like a school bell. So I didn't really, we didn't take time, actually.
This is why we need a producer.
Yeah, we didn't really upload or anything. But
our last producer overdosed.
Yeah.
On purpose. He had enough of us.
Yeah, it is definitely a wild show here on the Vito and Vito Show. But absolutely, we are going, there was a fight going on between Ted and Donald over the wives.
I'm waiting for Donald Trump to start bringing up your mama jokes. And talking about Ted's mother.
I'm
waiting for it.
At this point, we should put Donald Trump in the ring. That should be a boxing ring and have him slug it out with whoever he wants to for the nomination.
Whatever he wants?
Whatever he wants. He wants to knock out Hillary for the general. Let him do it. Let him do it.
He ruined his hair.
He'll ruin his hair. Or whatever's on his head. All right, Vito, so we got something to talk about right now. Let's jump into... let's talk about the wives first. Let's do that.
That's more fun.
All right, that's more fun. All right, we'll get to the president and rip him apart later. But I want to talk about the attack on Ted Cruz. For those of you who don't know, here on the Vito and Vito Show, we support Ted Cruz for 2016. I think he's a fantastic guy. I think he has a wonderful career up in the Senate, and I will defend that any day of the week. But ultimately, let's break this down here for you. Ted Cruz, a super PAC that does not like Donald Trump,
which is called "Make America Awesome Again," which I think is very clever. They showed an ad, of Melania Trump, basically nude.
I just want to let everyone to know, seeing Melania Trump nude. I love this woman. If Donald Trump happens to become the president of the United States,
you would have seen the First Lady naked.
You know what? That's amazing. And number two, we're going to have the hottest First Lady in the history of this country.
And Nancy was pretty hot.
You know what? I'm not going to talk about it, but next to Hillary Clinton, we'll have the hottest First Lady, and it will be Melania Trump.
Yeah, big upgrade from Michelle.
Yeah. Ooh. I mean, Manshell. Yeah, I'm going there. No,
if we were in another country, we would have been killed by now.
Oh, yeah, no. If we were in Iran or something. Or Cuba, right? Cuba, isn't that funny? We would have been hanged and thrown in a prisoner camp right now if we were in Cuba. But nonetheless.
But the ad, it said, meet Melania Trump, your next First Lady. Or you could support Ted Cruz on Tuesday, which was just in time for the Utah and Arizona primaries and caucuses. It's a picture of Melania Trump basically naked on a bed, staring seductively at you.
Oh, hi, Melania. How are you? My name is Vito.
This may incite some people to continue voting for Trump.
I think it swayed my vote.
But Donald Trump decided to respond and say, you better be careful, Ted, or I'll spill the beans about Heidi.
Ooh, what's going on there?
So this is all over Twitter, so the whole world can see this. And Ted Cruz said, listen, the ad is not from us. All right? He was going out, they're going back and forth. And then finally he had a little press conference, and Ted Cruz said, leave Heidi the hell alone. Mm-hmm. So leave Heidi alone was trending. Just like leave Britney alone.
Leave Britney alone.
Leave Heidi alone. Leave them out of this. Which I would see. Okay, they're going back and forth, but I still want to know what Donald Trump possibly has on Heidi Cruz.
Well, apparently there's a report out by the Daily Beast, for those of you who don't know, that said there's a police report out that says Heidi Cruz was squatting on the side of a highway, of an expressway, and she had her head in her hands, and she was just distraught, and people said she was a danger. The police said she was a danger to herself. And there are reports from Cruz's camp that back in the day, Heidi was experiencing bouts of depression. So she had that. She had problems with depression. And I guess that has to do with what was going on. I guess maybe those are the beans that need to be spilled. I mean, that's what the Daily Beast was reporting.
Years ago? Is that really the bombshell that's going to make you not vote for Ted Cruz? I was expecting that she used to be like a porn star in like another country, or like she has like leaked photos and sex tapes.
I don't know if any of that would be a bad thing. I don't know.
You would be okay with a Ted Cruz, Heidi Cruz sex tape?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. What's the problem with this?
You can buy it at tedcruz.org.
I encourage everyone to go to tedcruz.org and look at our wife's sex tape. All right, no. Some crazy stuff, but the ad was actually originally intended to sorry, lost my note. There we go. Was originally intended to sway Mormon voters in Utah to swing over and vote for Ted instead of voting for Donald Trump, because Donald Trump was giving Ted Cruz a run for his money in the evangelical voters, and that was Cruz's voting bloc originally from the start of the campaign.
Right, because Mormons do not accept having the woman posed nude as the first lady, only multiple wives.
Yeah, the problem wasn't the naked lady. The problem was that there was one naked lady in the ad. Nonetheless,
one's a lonely number. Didn't anybody ever tell you?
Nonetheless, this is what was going on. We're a sick show. This is what was going on. Ted Cruz firing back with a tweet today after Donald Trump retweeted somebody by the name of. You ready for this? You got the guy's name, Vito?
Don Vito 08.
Don Vito 08. This was the guy's name. I just want to make one thing clear and one thing clear right now. We have nothing to do with this.
I didn't do it.
We didn't do it, okay? We're not accountable for this. Donald Trump retweeting this picture from a guy named Don Vito 08. It was a picture comparing Heidi Cruz and Melania Trump, and the quote from Don Vito was, quote, "A picture is worth 1,000 words," at Real Donald Trump, hashtag lying Ted. And this was the one that sparked a lot of controversy on Thursday, and this is what made Ted Cruz reply, and he said, "Donald, real men don't attack women. Your wife is lovely, and Heidi is the love of my life." So Donald Trump going after Ted Cruz indirectly by retweeting some guy by the name of Don Vito. I wonder who it could be. No, it's not us, seriously. But, I guess there's another Vito out there. I thought there was just two.
Well, the picture said, "No need to spill the beans. The images are worth 1,000 words." And it's a picture of Melania and something on the other side.
Oh.
It was not.
It's Heidi Cruz, but it's Heidi Cruz being depicted as like a monster. Like, she looks awful. Like, you know, it was not. It's the most unflattering picture you could pick of Heidi, next to a screenshot of the model Melania Trump in her prime.
Yeah, well, you can see the picture and everything. We just retweeted it on at Vito and Vito Show on our Twitter. It's right there. You can see for yourself. And Ted Cruz, they're going back and forth defending the wives. And somebody said, "You don't go after another man's wife here in Texas." So I don't think you go after another man's wife, period.
I don't know why we're going after the wives in the first place. And I just want to make a correction. The article that says, "Danger to herself, what a cop thought of Ted Cruz's wife when he found her sitting on an expressway with her head in her hands 10 years ago," was actually from the Daily Mail. The Daily Mail, not the Daily Beast. Just want to make that correction. But you can read the whole article over there. Just type in Heidi Cruz Daily Mail on Google, and you could read the more information about why she was a danger to herself.
Right, but even if you want to talk about this and you want to compare, because they're going to be the first lady, they're going to have influence and say in this government. So, do you want the first lady being a former model who has posed nude and you've seen naked pictures of her, or one who has at one point in her life suffered from depression? Honestly, I don't see how the depression is such a big deal.
Well, it goes farther beyond that. I mean, I don't know what sort of credentials Melania Trump holds, but I know Heidi Cruz was working on. She works for Goldman Sachs. So she obviously has some financial understanding of what's going on in the world. She was on the She is. I don't know if she is or she isn't on anymore, but in the past she was on at least the Council of Foreign Relations. So she was helping with some type of foreign policy knowledge.
She's been involved.
Yeah, she's been involved a lot. Of course, she's running multiple campaigns with Ted. She's been a wife through Washington, his career in the Senate, his career in Texas, and I think a lot of that stuff matters. But now, I've said this on the show in the past. I don't really care about the first lady. I mean, she's the one. I'm not voting for the first lady. I'm not voting for the kids. I'm voting for the person that's running. I'm voting for the candidate. I'm not voting for the spouse or the kids. I don't really give a damn. Except it's maybe a dog. Maybe a dog that I would like a big golden retriever we could put in the White House. But other than that, I don't know if we're voting. I'm not voting for the family dog, the kids, or the wife. What I'm voting for is the person who's running, the candidate. And I think we all could agree on that. So Melania and Heidi have really nothing to do with this. I mean, they're out there supporting their husbands, trying to show that they're good family men. They're good, wholesome people of good character. And ultimately what we see is Donald Trump bashing Ted Cruz for something that he had nothing to do with. Why are they bashing Ted Cruz? Now, one of two things are going on here. First of all, it was a super PAC that's not affiliated with any campaign. Not affiliated with any campaign. The PAC is called Make America Awesome Again. And it even says at the bottom of the screen, not affiliated with any candidate or any campaign candidates committee. So it's a super PAC. It obviously has nothing to do with the candidate directly. And what it says in this advertisement is that you shouldn't vote for Donald Trump. And I don't like how Melania is thrown on it like that, and it's like, the insinuation of you wouldn't vote for her because of the First Lady. I think it's all ridiculous. But nonetheless, let's make one thing clear. Ted Cruz has nothing to do with this. So Donald Trump comes out and attacks Ted Cruz on this issue. Attacks him and says, lying Ted, going after my wife, that's not right. That's 100% wrong. He had nothing to do with this. He had nothing to do with this. So either Trump is lying outright, saying that Cruz has something to do with this when he didn't, or Donald Trump doesn't know that super PACs and candidates can't coordinate. So if it's one or the other, I don't know. You're going to have to explain to me I am seeing Trump supporters all over the Facebook pages and Twitter pages berating Ted Cruz, saying that he's a lying Ted. They keep up with these ridiculous lines. I don't know where he's lying, but nonetheless, they're going to bash him and say he's lying. And then they're going to turn around. And by the way, I just want to make a side note. I'm not very critical of Donald Trump. Only in certain aspects I am. But please tell me, if you're a Donald Trump supporter and you like Ted Cruz, were you standing with Ted when he was fighting Obamacare in the Senate? If you were, and now you're, absolutely against Ted, calling him a liar, he's the worst thing that ever happened to the country. If this is what you are saying, you're a Trump supporter and you supported Ted back a couple of months ago, please tell me where you changed. What happened to loyalty, baby? What happened to loyalty? I don't know if it's just a Brooklyn thing, but I think it's a legitimate question to ask. Nonetheless, I just want to continue on this topic right now. Where is it that Donald Trump wants to go? Where does he want to take this entire situation? Because right now, Vito, he's just attacking Ted Cruz on ridiculous arguments.
And something that he had no control of. And people are saying, well, no, he definitely communicates with the super PAC, this and that.
It's like some telepathic device that these people are using to
well, it's illegal, and if he did communicate and set this all up, prove it. If he did, there's consequences. But let's assume that he didn't, because that's against the law. And they ran this ad, and he goes after directly. Yeah, immediately goes after Ted Cruz's wife. I mean, it's ridiculous. That's all it is. It's absolutely ridiculous. We should stick to the issues and the policies and not worry about who's posing naked.
Yeah, I mean,
I have this. We're gonna spill the beans about your wife. Oh no, don't talk about my wife.
Spill the beans about my wife. And then people are saying, "Oh, I'm sorry for Trump for defending his wife." But what are you bringing Ted into this for? Blame the super PAC.
And
don't go after Ted Cruz. He didn't do anything.
It says on the bottom, paid for by America, Make America Awesome, not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee.
Of course, it's supposed to say it's independent of the campaign.
You make yourself look like a fool if you go after Ted Cruz, and it says it has nothing to do with him.
The lady's name who founded the super PAC, Make America Awesome. It's not called Make America Awesome again, Vito. It's Make America Awesome.
I'm sorry.
We're just so used to the words Make America. Right away, we think it's either great again or something like that. Either way, the PAC is called Make America Awesome. And if you look up, the lady, the founder of the PAC is Liz Mayer, L-I-Z, Liz Mayer, M-A-I-R. And she's the one that came out with this stuff, and this is who you got to direct your anger to if you're somebody that's pissed off about this advertisement. But ultimately, is this that big of a deal? No, it's not. I mean, this is a side thing. But I think it really shows you why Donald Trump is... Who is he? This is the guy we want as the nominee? I mean, again, I don't know if I would vote for him in the general election or not. I loved some of the things he says, and there are some things that I just can't stand. But ultimately, when I look at Donald Trump, I want to see a guy who's got leadership ability, and if he's going to argue over petty things like this, that's a problem, baby. That's a big problem. Ted has nothing to do with this. Leave him out of it and go after the super PAC and get this off your chest already. Melania is a beautiful woman. I love looking at Melania Trump. I only watch Donald Trump hoping that Melania will pop on the stage somewhere. That's what it is. I think, look, I don't know anything about her. I just know that she's absolutely gorgeous, and I think everyone in the country could agree with me. But
money can buy you a lot.
What?
Money can buy you a lot.
We're gonna have the first. If Donald Trump gets elected, we'll have the first lady. That's a mail order bride. Nonetheless, what you see here is Donald Trump, and this is what Ted Cruz said yesterday in a press conference in New York City. He said, when Donald Trump is outside his comfort zone, he attacks his number one thing, and that's bullying. And that's what he's doing here. He's just bullying him. I want to see a guy who's a leader. I don't want to see him get discouraged on the world stage if he becomes President Donald Trump and results to petty attacks against Putin or against whoever is out there that
God
he's
help
negotiating
us.
with.
God help us if Donald Trump says anything about Putin's wife.
I mean, that's just World War III waiting to happen. Am I right or am I wrong?
Absolutely.
Leave the wives out of this. People are saying that Ted Cruz, Donald Trump, just protecting his wife. Look, I understand what he's doing. He's trying to protect his wife, and he has every right to do so. But by labeling the attacks against Ted, he's trying to turn a lot of his supporters and his support system against Ted Cruz, and that's not right. The only one playing political games here is Donald Trump. Ted Cruz just trying to say, leave me alone. I got nothing to do with this, and I don't blame him for what he's doing.
Do you think this will hurt or help Trump.
I think this might hurt him a little bit, but I think it'll be forgotten come general election time. Because right now, Donald Trump is on a fierce path to the nomination. I don't think anybody can disagree with that. I really don't. I think, he just needs to win a couple of more states. If he wins New York, California, Connecticut, just a couple of the Northeast states, he'll pretty much have it. He needs just a little, like 51, 52% of the delegates left, and he'll win. And New York is, if you get over 50%, it's a winner-take-all state. I'll be voting for him here in New York. I don't know if you are.
For Trump?
For Ted Cruz.
Yeah, for Cruz. We're talking about...
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll be voting for Ted Cruz in New York. Are you going to vote for Ted Cruz?
Yes.
Yeah. But Donald Trump just needs to get over the 50% mark in New York, and I'm sure he will because, Ted Cruz going... Remember the whole New York value thing? That's not going to bode well here in New York. So I think a lot of people are going to go ahead and jump on the Trump train, and I think that's going to be a big problem. California, we don't know, but a lot of the Northeast states, this is Trump's territory, baby. These people are angry. I don't blame them for being angry. And Ted Cruz just doesn't seem to be the guy for them. It's going to be Donald Trump. So either way, the point that I'm trying to make here is get the wives at it. It has nothing to do with them. If there was a problem, give them a Brooklyn beatdown. Bring them to the back corner, these two guys, and let them rattle it out because this is ridiculous talking about each other's wives. They were in a bar right now. Somebody would be dead. Yep. Think of it like this. In politics, it's the only place where you could publicly bash another person, their family, their everything. But if you do this stuff like in a bar, in your local neighborhood bar, it's a fight waiting to break out. Politics is a funny thing, I tell you. All right, Vito and Vito going to break. When we return, we're going to talk about Castro, Fidel, the other one, Raul, and the other Castro, Obama, right here on the Vito and Vito Show.
Fighting the Common Core standards? Need a powerful tool to help inform others on this harmful education initiative? You're covered with Common Ground on Common Core, the collection of essays by 20 top education experts and activists. Reviewers call it the best single resource on the topic. You can share it with literally anyone. Order your print or digital copy of Common Ground on Common Core today. Just visit resoundingbooks.org. That's resoundingbooks.org. And get $2 off when you tell them Vito and Vito sent you. Paid for by Resounding Books Pack.
So what is behind enemy lines anyway?
This is the true story of two friends living in the People's Republic of New York City who work together and have their conversations taped to find out what happens when conservatives stop being politically correct and start getting real. We are Behind Enemy Lines. Watch your wallets. Thursdays at 1 on WNJC, part of the Conservative Commandos Radio Network.
Back here. Check out the website, www.vitoandvito.com. Give us a follow. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Vito and Vito Show. And we're just finishing up right here about the wife situation.
I'm keeping her photo up here on the computer screen.
You do that, Vito.
All right.
You do that. I'll print it out, put that on my, like a poster on my wall, right next to Frank Sinatra. And my poster of Ronald Reagan, and put bang, right in the middle, a picture of Melania Trump.
Great.
She's absolutely gorgeous. I love that woman.
Yeah, she's all right.
She's all right? Vito, who was the hottest first lady this country ever had?
Martha Washington.
You're kidding me. Mary Todd Lincoln was a hot tamale, in my opinion.
Yeah, she was. Wasn't she special out? Didn't she have some mental issues?
She did. She did. She had some mental problems, and she was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Unbelievable.
I don't know. Who? Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Tweet at us at Vito and Vito Show. Let us know who is the hottest first lady to ever bestow the White House on the other side of the bed. I want to know.
Don't worry. Men's Health did an article.
They did? Well, who they have as number one? Jackie O, baby. In all seriousness, Jackie Kennedy. Come on,
Jackie.
Come on.
You're either Marilyn or
and now who was the hottest? Who was the hottest first girlfriend in the White House?
Monica.
I'm going Marilyn Monroe. You could bet her and JFK, her and Jack going at it. There was a book, by the way, Inside the Secret Service. I suggest everybody read it, and it's about Secret Service agents breaking down, telling behind-the-scenes stories of all the presidents. Sure enough, they start off with John F. Kennedy, and they talk about his wild sexapades. They talk about him hanging out with the Rat Pack, Frank Sinatra, and all these guys. They talk about how JFK and his brother were going after the mob. It's a pretty intense book. They break down all the presidents, and in the book, they talk about how John F. Kennedy and Marilyn Monroe were obviously together, and that JFK and Marilyn Monroe would go out and make whoopee right on RFK's desk, right on Robert Kennedy's desk. So just want to let you know that in the White House, that happened.
You ever see a picture of Barbara Bush when she was really young?
No. Can we turn the computer around?
Yeah, look at this.
Oh, wow.
It's black and white, but still.
Barbara...
Even serious.
I'm kind of liking this. All right, what else we got there? Who's that?
Martha Washington. Martha Washington on the list.
Yeah, she's not bad according to this portrait.
That's a painting.
Yeah, it's a painting. Men's Health. We're going to retweet the article for you on Twitter. Who is the hottest first lady?
Nancy, I told you, Nancy. I know
Reagan,
hot first ladies.
You know?
All right.
Dutch knows what he knows his women. All right, guess one more. So we can move on to this.
Laura Bush. The Bushes.
Oh, Laura Bush. You know what? She looks good. She was good for her age. And
with
she
the
looks
little bob from the 50s?
Yeah, she looks...
Look at that.
Yeah. All right,
all
one
black
more.
And white
one more.
Oh,
there's Hillary
Clinton.
Rodham Clinton.
There. No. Okay, we're going to skip over that. Julia Tyler. Jesus Christ.
All right, guys. We got a show to get to. Come on.
Hold on, the list is almost done.
The list is almost done.
Betty Ford. All right. Dolly Madison. Look at that.
Yeah, wow. That James Madison's wife?
Yeah.
Look at the knockers on her.
Now, this is why we need a camera here when we're doing the show.
This is the...
Michelle Obama, give me a break.
There it is, Michelle Obama, with hands that bigger than mine and Vito's combined.
She looks like a monkey.
Oh, Vito.
Nothing to do with the race, just her face.
Oh.
Look, come on, look at her.
I don't know.
She's got bigger muscles than me.
Well, she's a healthy woman.
Yeah, healthy, that's what they call it?
There it is, Jackie O.
Jackie O is number one.
There it is, hottest woman in the world.
Yep.
There it is.
In the world. First lady. I mean, yeah, look at
some
of these
she
presidents.
got elegant and grace.
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful. As her husband's banging Marilyn on the desk.
All right, speaking of banging, President Obama's banging on Cuba's door. He's banging on, knocking on hell's door. He's going out to Cuba, trying to reestablish relations with the communist nation this past week. Mm-hmm. President Obama heading down to Cuba to hang out and chill with Raul Castro.
Right.
And said in his speech, which, by the way, I just want to let everyone know, this, he said a big speech in Cuba the day of the attacks in Belgium. It was the Fox News, I remember watching it, was saying, well, we're going to come out, and we don't know what the president's going to say. I don't know how he's going to respond to the attacks. We're told he's going to make a statement. Sure enough, he comes out, and President Obama says two sentences on the attacks in Belgium. He says things to the effect like, oh, this is terrible, it's a travesty, the United States stands with Belgium, we're going to bring the killers to justice, and that was pretty much that. And then he went on to talk about how Cuba was absolutely wonderful. So he spent less than 30 seconds talking about the attacks that currently happen in the world to talk about the United States and Cuban relationship, because that's so damn important. Does anybody else see something wrong with this picture? Vito, you see something wrong with this picture?
This man's a communist, okay? Very simple.
Yeah, you might be a little quiet on the show, but for Christ's sakes, when you come out, you've called for things on this program.
I've called for revolution.
You've taken it, baby. You really have. All right,
listen,
so
if the only good thing
straight out, he's a communist.
That's it. Okay. The only good thing that may come from better relations with Cuba and taking the sanctions off is that the Rolling Stones are doing a free concert tomorrow in Cuba. If that's the only thing, is that they get to play one more show there. Okay? Other than that, listen, Obama is not stupid. I'm sorry. You do not become president of the United States being a stupid person. Okay? Not even getting through the whole political system and everything, but becoming the leader of the free world, you have to be smart. Now, with great power comes great responsibility. And that's a Spider-Man quote. When Obama has this power and this influence, he doesn't accidentally screw up foreign relations. He doesn't accidentally go and endorse Cuba and Che and communism. He knows what he's doing. He's taking the United States out of foreign affairs like he's been doing. And he is endorsing, with a picture that he took next to Muriel Che, that is endorsing what they've been doing in Cuba. When he takes off the sanctions for no reason, that is endorsing the actions in Cuba.
Well,
have you ever seen a picture of Ronald Reagan and Che?
No.
Or any other conservative or American-loving person?
With Che? No.
Mm-hmm. No, you just see idiot socialist children running around with his frickin' face on their chest.
I see that in college all the time.
Yeah,
you see
Che.
these idiots. Like, oh, Che was revolutionary. I go,
Right.
you have no idea. This man was, he was a racist. He was a homophobe. He was a mass murderer. I mean, my God. Che was a totalitarian nut. He was really out of his mind. But yeah, you're right, Vito. You see these idiots on school campuses all the time.
But then you see Obama taking the picture there and doing the wave at the baseball game.
That's embarrassing.
He's like, oh, another attack in Brussels? Shit happens.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you look at it, it's awful how you see things like that. I cannot stand seeing President Obama get away with what he does. It really is absolutely ridiculous. But let's look at this in a broader perspective. What you see, ladies and gentlemen, and I think it's pretty clear, is that Obama, in his speeches, I'll go through some of the points he made. One of the points he says the United States and Cuba are brothers. We're not brothers in the slightest bit. I mean, we're not. The Cuban government believes in the Cuban, for the most part, the Cuban people also believe in the notion that the government should rule all. Socialism is the way to go. Obviously, the United States is evil. They don't respect human rights. This is the notion of Cuba that I'm talking about. That the Cuban government takes about 95% of a worker's paycheck. There's a black market. Did you know that there's a black market for aspirin, Vito? Expired aspirin in Cuba because medicine for the locals is in such short supply.
Jesus.
Did you know that?
Wow.
I got that from an article on National Review. I think it's absolutely crazy when you look at stuff like that. You should read that article. I mean, it's absolutely mind-boggling. In the article, they talk about in the Cuban healthcare system that Michael Moore made a film about, Sicko. Remember that? The movie Sicko with Michael Moore?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, he talked how great the Cuban healthcare system is and we need universal healthcare. If you look at the horror stories in the Cuban healthcare system, you see that not only is there a black market for expired aspirin, but there's also patients, when they go into the hospitals, have to bring their own bed sheets. They have to bring their own toilet paper. They have to bring their own cleaning tools and cleaning devices. The doctors reuse latex gloves. And this was a nurse's account of what exactly went down in a Cuban hospital. I mean, it's absolutely terrifying. Sure, you have wonderful health care for the political elites, and you have wonderful health care for the foreigners that come into the country. But ultimately, if you're a local living in Cuba, you're living in one of the worst, you're getting treatment from one of the worst type of places you could imagine. And that is your universal healthcare system in Cuba. So I think that's important to understand. On the other hand, I think it's also important to look at the fact that we're not brothers. Cuba does not recognize human rights or individual rights. They don't recognize that. We do, to an extent. I mean, we see it degrading more and more every day with this president. But nonetheless, we see a respect for individual rights. We have a Bill of Rights. What the hell does Cuba have?
Nothing.
They got nothing. I think it's important to understand that when we start comparing the United States and Cuba as brothers. I mean, I find that just to show you, ladies and gentlemen, just how out of touch Barack Obama is. Remember when Rudy Giuliani said that Obama doesn't love America?
He's absolutely correct.
He's absolutely 100% correct. He does not love what America stands for. America stands for freedom, individualism, free markets.
Mm-hmm. You cannot be a socialist and love America at the same time. It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work. It goes against... Again, America is an idea. We have to understand that. You can't... You can become French. You can become... You can't become French. You cannot become Italian. You cannot become Portuguese, but you can become an American because we're an idea. We're not a race in this country. I think it's important, again, to understand the difference between us and the rest of the world. The president does not see that. He sees it as one thing and one thing only, and that is the United States is obviously not equipped to handle the great things in the world. We're not able to handle ISIS. We're not able to handle the economy.
I hate that when he apologizes for America and American history and all the terrible things America has done. America is just terrible. That they've destroyed this world and the things they do to these kind of people is absolutely atrocious. Goddamn America. All right?
That's President Obama's line.
That's what President Obama is saying to you. That is exactly what this president is saying. And I do not want a leader who hates this country. You don't want the captain of your team hating the team.
I think
you don't get a Red Sox frickin' player to be the captain of the Yankees. It doesn't work that way.
And it's not like making changes to the country is necessarily a bad thing. You know, I understand. Republicans want to make changes to the country. Democrats want to get it. So have the open dialogue and discussion. The problem is when you're 100% pretty much against what the country was founded on by trying to institute universal health care, trying to institute different doctrines that go against the notion of individual rights, you're pretty much saying you don't really care for the history of the country. And I think that's important to understand. President Obama not seeing it like that. Let's also break it down here, ladies and gentlemen. There was an attack in Belgium. We all know about this. It was absolutely terrible, and we stand, like we said, we pray, and we stand with those and the families that were lost. Let's talk about this here, ladies and gentlemen, for a second. President Obama has said in the past that ISIS will be destroyed, ISIS will be contained, ISIS is under control, when in reality we see them springing up all over the European side of the world, and they are going everywhere, and they're going at lightning speed.
That's a pretty big JV team you got there.
Yeah.
All right. So President Obama, again, as you just said, does not love America and does not take care of this problem. You know, he said they'll be defeated, their JV team, you have nothing to worry about, as they're massacring and killing people, innocent people, and Christians in the Middle East and parts of Europe, okay? British intelligence said they're planning an attack in London, and you are a stupid person if you don't believe that they're planning something in the United States. I would guess New York City.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Not like it's happened before.
Yeah.
Okay? Use this logic. Al-Qaeda. They were strong enough to do 9/11, to attack the Twin Towers of the Pentagon on September 11th. ISIS is reportedly to be much bigger and stronger than Al-Qaeda. Imagine the damage they can do.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine. Mm-hmm. I do not feel safe with this president and this mayor here in New York City.
The communist.
The communist, Comrade Bill de Blasio.
Uh-huh.
I do not feel safe like I did when we had Giuliani and Bush. Even Jeb got this right. Jeb Bush said, say what you will about George Bush, George W., but he kept us safe. Okay? There's only a certain amount you can do. But you can't play defense without playing offense in this kind of situation. We have to destroy the enemy before they get to us, because we have to be right 100% of the time. They just got to be right once, and we'll lose American lives. We can't let that happen. And having weak leadership like we do right now for the last 8 years is what gets Americans killed.
You know, I think it's I think it really is a shocking display when President Obama is so easy not to take this situation more seriously. At least in perception. I mean, come on, this guy's a politician. He should at least know. If you're going to lie and say that you have ISIS under control, at least try to back it up with some action. Show me how you want to go ahead and keep them under control. He's already said he's just going to bomb a couple of places in the Middle East and Syria, and he's, I don't know how he has a declaration of war to do so, but he says he's going to do it. Number one. Number two, when you see things like this, I just scratch my head. The Associated Press comes out with a report that says that they are that ISIS is planning attacks, that it has commanded its insurgents, that it has commanded its soldiers throughout Europe to just go ballistic, just unleash all the attacks they have. That's some scary stuff. That is some scary stuff, and this is coming from ISIS, a JV team. And I think it goes to show you, ladies and gentlemen, this JV team breaking down the borders between Iraq and Syria, chasing out the Iraqi army, taking parts of Syria as their own, setting up their own state, and demanding people follow what they say or else. They're not very JV anymore. They seem like a professional team playing on the World Series stage. There is definitely something that the president needs to do, and he needs to step up right now and try to do something, whether it be war, a coalition of fighters and all that stuff. But none of that will happen. But we see the religion of peace, ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, attacking again. Go to www.vitoandvito.com. I encourage you all to go to www.vitoandvito.com. There's an article up there on why this Ted Cruz supporter, that's me, supports Donald Trump's ban on Muslim immigration. My reasonings are pretty much all there. I'll give you a snapshot of what the article's about, but I encourage you to go to www.vitoandvito.com. Scroll down. It's right there on the front page. And effectively says why this Ted Cruz supporter, that's me, why do I support Donald Trump's Muslim immigration ban? Very simple when you break it down. Ultimately, Islam is a religion that does not like us. does not like American values. Donald Trump has it 100% right when he says Islam hates us. He's right. Islam doesn't like the idea of rights and freedoms and liberty. They like the ideas of submission to Allah. And if you don't follow what they say, you have the right. They have the right to kill you. I think it's a very scary religion to hold. I think it's when you look at the passages in the Quran and you look at people saying to live the life of Muhammad. I think when his life was full of barbarism and militarism, as he went ahead and he stormed through the Middle East, beheading people and conquering lands in order to spread the religion, he was a whack job. And I think there's a problem when people are so willing to say that Islam is a peaceful religion, they lack the depth and the understanding of really looking at the text and saying to yourself, well, how the hell can you reinterpret this type of scripture when the Quran specifically says to strike off the heads of the unbelievers where you may find them, where it talks about martyrdom in a very positive light, where we shouldn't live for anything but martyrdom. So there's a problem in the religion in and of itself, and I think people need to go ahead and start looking at that. And Donald Trump's ban on Muslim immigration is finally going to wake people up and stop talking about how Islam is not the problem, and maybe it's going to say Islam is the problem. So there's an aspect of Donald Trump that I absolutely adore. I don't like that he goes after people's wives, but that's another issue for another time. I don't know, Vito. www.vitoandvito.com. Check out the article. Why this Ted Cruz supporter supports Donald Trump's Muslim immigration ban. I'm called a racist for supporting the ban, but what are you going to do? It's a college campus, right?
Even though Islam is not a race.
Sure.
People don't understand that.
Hey, you want to play a game, Vito?
Sure.
How many times did President Obama mention the word radical Islam in his speech, in his 2-second speech in Cuba early in the week?
I have to go with 0.
Congratulations, you win.
What'd I win?
You won a bell. You won the little sound effect bell here that we have
Great.
here on the program, so congratulations on that, Vito. All right, Vito and Vito, go on a break. When we return, we got Forget About It Moments of the Week and some other things. I'll let you know what goes on right here on the Vito and Vito. Don't go anywhere.
Fighting the Common Core standards? Need a powerful tool to help inform others on this harmful education initiative? You're covered with Common Ground on Common Core, the collection of essays by 20 top education experts and activists. Reviewers call it the best single resource on the topic. You can share it with literally anyone. Order your print or digital copy of Common Ground on Common Core today. Just visit resoundingbooks.org. That's resoundingbooks.org. And get $2 off when you tell them Vito and Vito sent you. Paid for by Resounding Books Pack.
So what is behind enemy lines anyway?
This is the true story of two friends living in the People's Republic of New York City who work together and have their conversations taped to find out what happens when conservatives stop being politically correct and start getting real. We are Behind Enemy Lines. Watch your wallets. Thursdays at 1 on WNJC, part of the Conservative Commandos Radio Network.
www.vitoandvito.com, www.vitoandvito.com, www.vitoandvito.com. Give us a follow, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Vito and Vito Show. Follow us on Spreaker, iTunes, and wherever podcasts may find you. Coming to a podcast near you. This is some interesting stuff here, ladies and gentlemen. We've been talking about radical Islam. We've been talking about Donald Trump going after Ted Cruz's wife, or maybe Ted Cruz going to Donald Trump's wife. We don't know. We've been talking about the attacks in Brussels, and we're talking about the loser-in-chief, that's President Barack Obama. But right now is that time to enjoy my favorite part of the show, and that is Forget About It Moments of the Week right here on the Vito and Vito Show.
Forget about it?
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Paul, forget about it.
Forget About It Moments of the Week here on the Vito and Vito Show. It's a little thing we came up with, not the word, but the actual idea of putting it into the show. That's when we break down some of the craziest moments in the world, politics, everything. Doesn't matter. Could be sex, could be drugs, could be rock and roll. I don't care. It's everything and anything. We throw it into the show in this segment, and we just all say this Brooklyn phrase all together now. Forget about it. That basically means what is going on in the world. It's a head-scratching type of word. It's like, forget about it. That didn't really happen, did it? And then I sit here and tell you the truth that, yes, this is humanity in its current state. Vito, first Forget About It Moment of the Week.
Ready? A man arrested in North Carolina for not returning a 2002 VHS tape.
What was the tape?
Freddy Got Fingered.
I love that movie. now it's not that Freddy got fingered. Let's get one thing clear. It's the movie Freddy Got Fingered.
You're thinking of Freddy Got Fisted.
No, Vito. Trying to be a little more subtle. Jeez. But yeah, so this guy got arrested by the police for not returning a VHS tape. Who the hell has VHS tapes anymore?
I do.
Of what?
Freddy Got Fisted.
My God.
This is a crime. I said, listen, Blockbuster closed down. I
Where
can't return the tapes.
Where was this? You have the city and the town, the state?
North Carolina.
Well, you have it right there, ladies and gentlemen. If you're in North Carolina and you don't return your VHS tapes, you're wanted by the law.
I can see me getting pulled over.
What you want? What you want?
I can see me getting pulled over for like regular traffic stop.
They search your name. There's a warrant for your arrest for not returning a copy of Freddy Got Fingered.
You saw Freddy Got Fisted.
All right, what else we got here, Vito? We have a couple there.
A Houston pilot was arrested for having a string of up to 6 brothels running. He was the empire. He was in charge of a brothel empire.
Good for him. I've come out on the show. We've had our good friend Charlotte Rose on the show. She's a sex worker in England.
I support the legalization of prostitution.
Yeah, I'm a libertarian. I support the legalization of prostitution. I don't see the problem with that. I'm a practical libertarian.
Isn't that a service?
Huh?
Isn't that a service?
It's a service. Nobody's getting hurt. Why not? Leave it alone.
Unless you consent to the...
Yeah. Well, yeah, but leave it alone. Let's let people leave them alone. Let them contract freely. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. We should legalize prostitution. We've had a sex worker on the show in the past. Her name was Charlotte Rose. She made headlines this week. Mm-hmm. I'll give you a forget about a moment. She made headlines this week where she was the lucky recipient, a willing recipient, if you will, to have sex with a man who has he has the world's first bionic penis. Yeah, he got it injured in a car accident. His penis was
schmelting
accident. It was completely destroyed. It was an awful accident, so he nursed himself back to health, but his penis was no good, so the doctors gave him a bionic penis. You heard that right, bionic. Like RoboCop, just you play with the words. They gave him a bionic penis, and Charlotte Rose, former guest on the show, the Vito and Vito show. She's a radio host as well out in London. She's a sex worker over there.
Sex worker of the year.
Sex worker of the year. She was also she also ran for office, and nonetheless, Charlotte Rose, ladies and gentlemen, she was she had sex with a man with a bionic penis. She said it felt absolutely amazing. That was he lost his virginity to her. He's like 40-something years old. Poor cat, right?
Well, I was going to say, when he lost, he didn't really need it.
Yeah. Ooh, tough. But now, what does that story have to do with this story? Leave him alone. The guy's not doing anything wrong. As long as nobody's being forced into this business, like there's no human trafficking or whatever, then I don't see the problem with legal prostitution. There's nothing wrong with that. Let a man have his vice. Some have smoking, some have drinking, some have sex. Let an entrepreneur make his business. Some have all. But let an entrepreneur make his business supplying those vices, if you will, so long as nobody gets hurt.
As long as he's not having a brothel while he's flying the plane.
Yeah, that would be a problem. Don't need some Monica, Bill action while the guy's flying a plane. That's going to be a problem.
Isn't that why you have autopilot?
That's the next forget about it moment.
Remember earlier today how I was telling you I want a parrot?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So this lady, Pauline Guthrie, toilet trained her parrot. This was in the news today.
Now, when you say toilet train, you mean like go to the actual bathroom?
Yes.
Like in the toilet in the house?
Parrot's got to use the bathroom, so he goes and uses the toilet in the bathroom.
Why is this like...
Polly's got to go potty.
What is wrong with the birdcage?
Listen, I know people can teach you tricks, to say things, but to use the bath... come on. Don't people have better things to do than toilet train your parrot?
People. I don't think so.
Well, I want a parrot, and maybe I'll toilet train it.
Yeah, well, I always wanted a parrot, so I put it on my shoulder and make it scream things out, like Ted Cruz, or Melania, I love you, something like that, I don't know. You got a pet parrot, Vito?
Pet parrot?
Pet parrot.
Not yet. I'm going to get a parrot.
Yeah?
Yep.
Is that that's the one that talks, right? The parrots?
Very good, Vito.
Yeah. I like pigeons. Pigeons in New York City don't give a damn. Because they'll just walk around. I've been watching, Yankee baseball starting to back up. We'll talk about that in a bit. But I'm flipping through the channel. I see spring training games on and old, Yankee classics, the old Yankee games they play over here on the Yankees Entertainment Sports Network channel. It's called Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. And you see old games where, like, pigeons are flying on the field, and you see
squirrels sometimes.
Yeah, so you got, like, animals don't give a damn here in New York City. You see little pigeons walking the baseline, and they had a whole play because you got a pigeon on the field.
Remember, was Randy Johnson hit a pigeon?
Yeah,
with the fastball.
Yeah, he had I don't know if it was a pigeon, but I know it was a bird. Yeah, and his, like, 90+ mile an hour fastball, he threw it so fast the bird had no idea what was happening. Bang.
Just so feathers.
Yeah, my favorite celebrity story with the bird has to be Fabio. He's on a roller coaster, a Dutch Wonder. What was it? What was it called again? Busch Gardens. And that's an amusement park that I would attend. But nonetheless, he was on a roller coaster at Busch Gardens. He was going up the roller coaster. He was all smiling. It was the opening of a roller coaster. Fabio, yes, Fabio, the big guy, the Italian guy with the big hair, the long hair. Bird hit him right at the top of the roller coaster. Had to stop the ride. They brought the ride back down. Fabio covered in blood. It was absolutely hilarious.
Jeez.
Yeah.
My favorite pigeon story is a couple months ago. We're actually going on TV. So I was meeting you somewhere in Manhattan. And I was coming down to meet you. And I get off the train. I'm running to meet you. I'm in the suit. And right before I get to the building to go on TV, a pigeon craps right on me.
Yep.
Right on me. And the suit, ready for TV. But it was all right.
Good luck. Good luck.
That's what they say.
That's what they say. What's that next? You got another one, right? Another forget about it moment?
We got two,
We got two more left? All right.
Rolette, Texas. A demolition crew is blaming Google Maps because they destroyed the wrong house. Do you imagine going through that?
Can you imagine, like, you ever seen, like, a Family Guy episode, Cleveland in the bathtub, right, you know? Oh, no. That's what I get when I hear stories like this. What's the town called? This is the more exciting part.
Roulette,
Texas. What a name. I'm going to change my last name to Vito Roulette. That's good, right?
Jeez,
I like
Vito
that.
Roulette?
Vito Roulette, Vito Aces, Vito Spades, Vito Diamonds, Vito Hearts.
That sounds like a porn star named Vito Diamonds.
Vito Diamonds. Oh, man. This is an interesting show we have going on right now.
Yes,
I think so. All right, what else you got there?
This is a dating service. An artist named Tega Brain created this dating service in New York called Smell Dating. It's actually how I met my girlfriend. You just go and...
Is this the one that you blow up?
It's the one I smell. Smell dating. You smell people, and apparently certain hormones your body smells that you know you're compatible with another person.
Really?
Yep.
That's weird.
Well,
how do you test that?
You sniff somebody. I guess you got to be blindfolded, and you smell them if you like the smell. But it's not like, the perfume smells good. It's like their real body odor. You know? No perfume, no fake stuff on you.
I smell like Jack and cigarettes. Jack and Lucky Strikes. I don't know if that's going to... I don't know how many women are into that.
That says you got a great job going.
I don't know. I mean, whatever. If this is what people are into. I've seen an app. They have an app for everything. I saw one. It's called Happening. Happn or something like that. It's a weird app. I was scrolling through the App Store. Saw it on there. And the point of this app is that when you're walking, the point is if you see somebody you like and you pass them by on the street, you go on this app. And it locates the person that you wanted to be with, who you wanted to talk to that you passed by in busy traffic. And then you could text and talk on there and try to meet up for a drink or something. And I find it to be absolutely scary because it's literally searching for other people in the area. And I guess you get to see them and see their phones. How weird is that?
I mean, all that fancy stuff. I think Tinder, people have heard the popular
I like Tinder. Tinder's okay.
Tinder is just, it's a picture of a person, their age, make sure they're legal. And you swipe left if you think you're unattractive. And you swipe right if you do want to sleep with them. If you get a match, you can talk, meet up, and have easy, casual sex.
What is the problem with that, ladies and gentlemen? See, if we would have legalized prostitution, we could have done this, at the counter.
Yeah, like a prostitution app.
We could have done this at the counter. Would have been great.
2 words you ever say to a prostitute.
What do you say?
How much?
How much?
That's it.
That has the weather, has the kids, has the wife. No, how much? That's pretty much it.
You want to hear a funny joke about a prostitute?
You might as well help. We got about 2 minutes left here on the
Great,
program.
I'll make it quick. My father, he used to be a postman back in the day. So back in the 70s, there's a lot of prostitutes around. So he would get up early, he would go to work at maybe 5 a.m. and he'll be walking around by all these prostitutes and truckers, and all the prostitutes yell at him, "Hey, you got time? Got the time?" And he's like, "It's 5 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. Oh, it's 5:10. It's 5:15 every day." They say, "You got the time?" But he didn't realize they're trying to say, "You got the time to bang, so I can make some money." My father thought they're asking for the real time of day right now.
Wow, that's a poor man.
Yeah, but that's back in the 70s. That's when he went to disco. My father had the whole white suit on.
As much as I want to take a trip down memory lane, we got to wrap the show up here. The Vito and Vito Show. Check out the website, www.vitoandvito.com. Fun show. Tonight we talked about Melania Trump. We talked about Ted Cruz. We talked about Brussels. We talked about President Obama in Cuba. We talked about radical Islam in and of itself. Check out that article I wrote. It's called, again, Why This, that's me, Ted Cruz supporter, supports Donald Trump's Muslim immigration ban. There are some things about the Donald that I like. There are some things I don't. This is one of them that I really, really like. It's huge. Anyway, check out the website again, www.vitoandvito.com. Past articles, past episodes, all the things like that. Go ahead, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Vito and Vito Show, at Vito and Vito Show.
Mm-hmm.
And join us again next week, ladies and gentlemen, right here on the Vito and Vito Show, where we get to break down some fun things.
In Brooklyn.
It's nothing
but the truth.